So, now that we have our butterfly actor, or whatever you guys chose, that gets set to some initial position when we click the start button, now we want to start changing how this thing will move. So the way this is going to work is that we need to add what's called a variable to the butterfly. So a variable is something that can change, and since we want the butterfly to fall and fall faster if we're not clicking the spacebar, we're going to make a variable called speed. So I'm going to click the add variable button. I'm going to click and call this variable speed. I'm going to set it for all actors, even though we're really just going to use it for the butterfly. And I'm going to click OK. So now you see that there's this new thing called speed over here, right? So initially, when we first start, we want the butterfly not to be moving, which means that speed is equal to 0. And we can do that by taking this piece of code, putting it over to here, and it clicks in place. And we can select speed. And now this will set the speed to 0 when we start the program. So, look over here. My butterfly is in the right place at negative 260 and 0. And actually, let's make this, let's move it over a little bit. Let's make it negative 225. I like that better. So now it's over a little bit. So this is where it'll start, and its speed is 0 when we start. Now, when we click the enter button, this is when we want to start the game to go. We want it to fall unless we click the space bar. So first, let's take care of the falling part. So we're going to click on the Events tab, and we're going to drag this piece out here that says when up arrow pressed. But we don't want when the up arrow pressed. We're going to say when the return button is pressed. And what we want to do is, after that, we want to forever change the speed so that each small moment when you're not clicking the spacebar, the butterfly is going to be wanting to fall. So to do this, we're going to click the flow and take this forever piece and put it in here. So forever, we're going to set the position of our butterfly to be equal to x equals the x position, so we can just put that in here. But, so that means that when we click go, this butterfly is never going to move backwards or forwards in the x direction. It's just going to stay right here. But what it should be able to do is it should be able to rise like this or fall like this. And so to do that, we're going to forever set the x position to be just the x position and the y position to be equal to the current y position plus the speed. So let's try that out. To do that, we need to come over here to the operator. We can put this piece in here and see there's a little plus sign. So we can set this equal to the y position plus the speed. Oops. Like that. So let's click go and see what happens. Nothing. So why does that happen? Well, right now, the butterfly doesn't have any speed. It's set to 0. So it's not going to be moving in any direction. So now we need to remember that every moment the butterfly wants to try to fall. So we're going to go back to the events, and when our return key is pressed, forever after that, we're going to set the speed equal to the speed minus 1. So we can go into variables, select this one, and say that the speed is going to be equal to, change this to a minus, the speed minus 1. So now when we click go, watch what happens. The butterfly's here, and if I click the enter button, whoa, the butterfly falls away. That's because the speed keeps getting set over and over again to one value less than it was, so it tries to go in the negative y direction. So our next step now is that we need to slow this down so it doesn't fall as fast, and then allow the user a way to make the butterfly go up.